Good afternoon and welcome to today's edition of The Buzz on Galaxy Television. This is the show that serves you daily juice on what's trending on social media, and we're up again in a brand new week, and this is the first edition for the week. Thanks for joining us. My name is Patience Bello Kafo, and I welcome you to the show this Monday, the 9th of July 2018. I'm here with Alero as well. Good afternoon, Alero.
Good afternoon, Patience. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Okay, a beautiful Monday afternoon to you all. And you're on to the bars where we're going to discuss as these on social media. So, Patience, what actually trended over the weekend?
A lot.
Too many things.
Too many things. So I missed all the forgery scandal and every other thing, you know.
I know we actually have a way of playing out some serious issues because I'm sure there was a picture, a certain photoshopped picture that trended. A lot of people actually get so busy. Well, in case of the program, we will be discussing that particular issue.
That's right. All right, remember the show is quite interactive. You can join us using the number 0802-836-8971. That is the number to use to send in your SMSs. Also, you can hook up with us on social media.
Yes, on Facebook, that's facebook.com/Galaxy TV. And on Twitter, the official Galaxy TV, knowing that you can get to watch previous editions of the program on our YouTube channel, Galaxy TV Nigeria.
All right, of course, we're here with our guests. All of them are regulars on the show, and we're indeed glad to bring them back on the show. It's a pleasure to have Mr. Ikem Okuhu back on the show. He was absent last week because he had to attend to more pressing issues. Mr. Ikem is a media consultant, is a marketing communications professional, a public relations expert, an astute businessman, and a social commentator. Good afternoon, Mr. Okuhu. Thank you for joining us.
So many titles. Good afternoon, and it's good to be back on the show.
That's right. All right, we also have one of our regulars, Mr. Godi Ofose. He's a renowned journalist. He has worked, as head of desk across board in the top media in Nigeria. He's also a brand analyst. And he is a budding politician as well. Good afternoon, Mr. Ofose.
Good afternoon,
Thank
madam.
you for joining
At times, I think we need to define what a renown is. How many years you need to put in to become a renown in your profession?
You are renowned, I know that.
Happy birthday in arrears. I didn't have the opportunity.
Yeah, you were not here. Yes, thank you for coming. And also we have another one who has become a regular as well. He's a filmmaker, former president, Association of Nollywood Co-Producers, ANCO. He's also vice president of the National Federation of Film Producers Association. And he is also a non-politician. Mr. Alex Eyeo. Good afternoon, Mr. Alex. Thank you for joining us.
Always a pleasure to be here.
That's right. All right, so we're about to go into the show for this afternoon. 0802-836-8971 is the number to use, and it will be on the screen shortly. Our first story is we're discussing the killing of policemen in Abuja. Two police officers were shot by gunmen last Sunday at about 8 p.m. at a checkpoint near Mandaregi village in Abaji, area council of the FCT. And of course, we hear that the gunmen escaped with one of their rifles. Now, while we were still trying to come to terms with that Sunday killing, on Monday, the following day, another set of gunmen opened fire on some policemen at a police outpost around Galadimawa roundabout, killing 7 of the policemen and cutting away their rifles, bringing the total to 9 police officers killed in what police sources have referred to as an ambush. Now, we hear that the police officers stopped the gunmen in an attempt to search their vehicles before they opened fire on the officers. Residents said 2 residents were also shot and several others injured during the gun battle. The shooting started at about 9 p.m. and lasted for several minutes. Meanwhile, the Nigeria police has arrested 5 suspects in connection with the killing of the 7 policemen in Galadimawa in Abuja. All right, we have a footage of the police PRO. Here he is making a statement on this recent killing of men of the police force. We'll be right back.
on our police personnel and the killing of 7 police men. That is why people who are calling for the disbandment or end to SARS are not doing the nation any good. These are police personnel that were attacked and killed by armed robbers and other bandits. And when you now begin to call for end to SARS, this is a living witness that police personnel die in the process of protecting Nigerians. And it is important the SARS, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, are the elite force of the Nigerian police force. They are the fighting force that the police is using to curb and to reduce form of robbery and criminality to the BRS in the country. So I hinge my conclusion on the fact that investigation has commenced fully into this incident, and the perpetrator will definitely be arrested and prosecuted.
Welcome back. All right, gentlemen. We all saw the footage there of the police making a statement. But then let's talk about, what this means, when supposed armed robbers begin to drop, those who are members of the security operatives. What is the indication of this? Let's start with you, Mr. Ikem.
Okay, thank you so much. I think it's just a pointer that we still don't have policemen here in the right sense, in the true sense of the word. I say this because I think this is the 3rd time on this show that I'm making this point. We don't have intelligent policemen at all. Policemen stay on the road using their uniforms to assert their presence rather than their intelligence. We don't have to have policemen all over the place. They don't have to show obvious presence before we know that they are there. When you see a police checkpoint, stand there 3 minutes, you will discover that they are not there because of any duty. They are there because of certain opportunistic things they do for themselves. If those robbers had sat down there and said, officer, sir, how are you? How is everything? The boys, and they flip their hand in their pockets and give something, believe me, nobody would have searched them. Police must begin to use intelligence rather than physical presence to be able to do that. And I'm saying this, Abuja, of all places, shouldn't be prone to this kind of attacks. Abuja is a complete circle that I think there are just a few gateways in and out. The Nyanya side has a bit of bottlenecks in some places. The airport road side is free. So if you get these particular places, you are likely to apprehend whoever. But because police are not doing what police should do, which is use brain more than the threats of the presence of rifles and their uniform to do their job. Just when I was about coming here, a friend of mine on Facebook, Gimba Kakanda, is a strong influencer on the social media. He was narrating what happened yesterday. He visited a friend and was driving home, and suddenly he saw a car following him. Because of these things, he started running. He was saying he was driving like a Formula 1 driver. To drive into his place was a problem because he said he lived in a close. If he gets in there, he will be boxed. And he drove around Abuja. Of all the places where he should even find police checkpoints, they were not even there at that point in time in the night. What he did was that he drove to a friend's house, close to his house, who had soldiers, armed soldiers as guards, parked there, and that car followed him, got to that point. He came down and discovered that it was actually the friend that he left his house, who picked up his phone that he had forgotten, because he was looking for his phone in the car to call.
That was following him.
So he just found that the phone has fallen under his seat. So it was the guy that was honking, since he couldn't reach him on the phone, and said, stop, let me give you a phone. But he was running because If
He was
policemen
scared,
could be
yeah.
picked that easily, and they raced like that, nobody spotted them until they got a few meters to his house.
So if the story were different, you know,
If the story
it
were
had just
different,
happened.
if those people were, they could possibly have overtaken
Of
him
course.
and shot him to death.
Of course.
Okay.
So it just shows we don't have anything in a capital city as supposedly well secured as Abuja.
All right. Okay, I know this particular call is actually, a lot of people are showing concern right now that state police is needed. Do you actually see this coming up?
If you ask me sincerely, we need state and municipal policing. In principle, I agree. It is important. The federal police, they are too few. They are too not everywhere. But if we cannot even manage federal police now well enough, what do you think will happen when we have state policemen? You heard what happened in Meduguri when they were demonstrating for non-payment of allowances of people you sent for something as critical as the Boko Haram problem. And then you have state police in some of our states that we know, I don't want to mention any name now, some have not paid salary for 11 months. Some are keeping civil servants 5 months, 6 months, they are not paying them. Some who are paying entry-level civil servants level 6, 32,000 naira. What are you using to sustain a police force for such states? We need it, but are we prepared for it in terms of transparency, in terms of cooperation between the state police and the federal police, in terms of the cooperation between the municipal police and the state police and then the federal police? Are we prepared in terms of looking after them to make sure that their eyes are on the ball? Okay. Rather than on graft and a few other things.
But you know, Mr. Akem, a lot of people are actually arguing against the state policing, believe that it's going to be abused.
It's just mentioned.
That's what I'm saying. If you look after them, create strong institutions that will make them function independently, the abuse might still exist, but it will be minimized. Okay. But when you are paying me 35,000 naira, meanwhile I have 3 children, their school fees for a term is 300,000 naira, and I have rent to pay, and I've not fed them, I will rely on what I pick up on the streets to make up. All right. Or make myself easy tool in the hands of anybody who could pay.
All right, let's bring Mr. Godi into this discussion now. I mean, what I picked from this particular story of the killing of policemen in Abuja is the fact that in both of the 2 incidents, you know, the rifles, you know, were the target. Yeah, were the target of this man. After shooting, they made sure that they carted away the rifles. What's the symbolism of this?
Well, it shows that the hoodlums, the robbers need more rifles to operate. Maybe the government policy to tighten the ports and also put so much surveillance on movement of rifles has also brought that up. That said, I think if this topic had been given like yesterday and I met Ikem, we discussed it, I would have said Ikem has taken something from my mouth. You see, in this program, I think I mentioned the fact that when the president mentioned the recruitment of police from 66,000 policemen across Nigeria, I said, look, at this point, we really need more police. What we need is intelligence. Now, Nigeria is known to police with weapon, with uniform on the streets rather than intelligence. And what makes us different is that in other places where you don't see police on the street, e.g. the Gambia is just like Lagos and Ogun State put together, is a country. Now, I went a bit...
With very fewer population.
Now, I went to Gambia. I went to Gambia for a program, and for my 1 week in Gambia, I didn't sight a single policeman on the street. And there were no crimes recorded at all. And a policeman could sit with you. We didn't know he's a policeman. Now, what we do is that a policeman decided to, he doesn't even have money, and said he wants to move from Ikeja to Ojelegba, and he needs to board a bus. How will he get a free bus from Ikeja to Ojelegba? Just because he wore uniform.
Sure.
So a lot of things are happening. I believe that the General Police should sit up. If police could be ambushed, like common, ordinary citizens, okay, armless citizens, and they could kill like that. Then nobody is safe. And issue of asking police that they are not doing your job, and the police hierarchy will come out and defend them, should not be so, because they are also a target. They are even a bigger target than us. Because if you mount police down, you get to us. It breaks my heart each time I read this story that armed robbers attack police. The other day it was in Kwara State Offer, that they didn't just attack the bank. They went to the police station, lock it down, kill everyone, and then went to do the, because they know that having done that, nobody will come after them.
Exactly.
And let's get to have also in fact there that one of the robbers happens to be an ex-police officer, was actually dismissed. He was dismissed, so.
Okay, Mr. Alex, how are you feeling on this topic?
Well, first, my heartfelt condolences to the family of the failed policemen by these deviants in the society. Having said that, I must say I will be very cautious, in making sweeping statements, particularly as it concerns the capacity and the functions of the Nigerian police. First, it is not novel, it's not new, what we have just witnessed, as narrated by you. It's not new. It's been there. And it's not peculiar to Nigeria. Even in the most developed Western world, let me use Germany, which the perception is that Germany is a police country. Right. It's a police society. We have issues like this. And it would be totally wrong for us to assume that the entire Nigerian police force are on the road. No, that's not correct. We have the intelligence. We have more policemen who are not on the road than those on the road. I mean, we must get that clear. But we cannot rule out this, because as you have the police, so also you have the bad guys. The armed robbers, like I call them, they are deviant. No matter what you do, I mean, these are people who have sworn that, look, this is the way, their own way of life. So as you are policing, you are securing, they are looking for method. Like he said, the motive may be, you understand, to get more arms and ammunition. That's why when they attack policemen, the first thing they go for is your weapon. Yeah. So, but for me, these things will always happen. Either here in Nigeria, in Germany, in America, it will happen. But it is the capacity of the police to deal with it when it does happen. Because it doesn't happen every day anyway. But when it does happen, it's the capacity. Like you said, 5 arrests have been made. I mean, they have swung into action. It's not as if they are folding their hands. So for me, I think we should not paint a picture of, oh, this has never happened before, the police, it's not working. I don't agree with that. That would be a sweeping statement. Sorry. Okay. Then, on the issue of, state police, for me, for now, it's a no, no, no. To be abused. It's a no, no, no. I mean, why now? So for me, it's a no, no, no. Okay. Not that it's not desirable, but we must put certain things in place before we can move into that level.
I think what I want to see from Nigerian police force is trying to nip all of this crime in the bud before it happens. And that's what separates us from other countries, from other parts of the world. Because we always allow these things to happen. We record victims before we now swing into action. Now, can we at some point sit back as a police, gather intelligence, and nip an armed robbery operation that's supposed to happen today?
Okay.
No, it's not possible that you have 100%.
There are 7 policemen.
But we have not even seen it.
No, we have. Just hold on. There are 7 policemen in one place. Yeah. All of them are so positioned that they were vulnerable.
There were actually more than 7.
And what
7 were killed, some were injured, which, I mean, indicates there were more than 7. Yeah.
Now, if we are in this studio, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, managing this environment, common sense should tell us that we are not there because we are at a party. We are there because we are trying to make sure that criminals who want to foment trouble are taken care of. What do? Alero, Patience, why don't you stay somewhere a bit distant from this place for surveillance purposes, just in case something happens?
It will never happen.
No, but that happens.
Because
that
they
happens.
don't trust themselves.
No.
Because of what will happen, what will get?
If something don't let me know, happens, the person on the road will not declare full assets to the rest. And because of that mistrust, all of them gather at a place.
That's true.
Yes.
All right, now, so Mr. Ikeme, having said that and analyzed every other thing, what's the way forward? Because then give and take, and we just get to hope that this doesn't get to repeat itself again next month. Because if not, next month again, we'll still be sitting down here talking about this same issue happening.
The way forward is, one, road routine checkpoints may be desirable, but let us have some of them do a bit more intelligence work, be a bit more not obvious, not standing there with your uniform and once you spot the person from a distance, you know they are policemen. Those who are supposed to do that, if you move around Nigeria, you know that a lot of them who are supposed to do those work come out of the road dressed in mufti. The only thing you will identify with them, you will see that will connect them as policemen will be their rifles.
Okay.
You see somebody in t-shirt and jeans and a baseball cap carrying gun and stopping vehicles on the road. Those are the people who should be doing more of the intelligent work, following up on what the ones that are doing the show of force by their uniform and their guns are doing.
Okay.
Well, I just get to believe that our government needs to invest more in CCTVs because advanced countries get to use CCTV to be able to trace crimes and other things. If we cannot have people that are actually intelligent there, but at least CCTV would be
use
able
of
to
El Rufai, when he was the minister of FCT, tried to do that. In places where you give government the job of doing that thing, they will buy camera that were used in UK and in Western France in 1960. So even if you capture pictures, you can't even identify those ones. If you're using CCTV in a country to just recognize faces, it doubles the work. Where is our identity database?
Data. See,
that you can use to easily connect these people. Where is our crime database?
That is where I'm coming from. That's where I'm coming from. You see, when you look at this, policing is moving away from brawn to brain. Okay, if you look at some of these things, I was in France in 2002, and I said, let me walk into a police station. A police station looks like a building that people are staying. So I walked in there, as I'm a journalist, I want to see, I saw only one police officer who talked to me, who was managed to speak English a little bit. Now, I asked him, where are your colleagues? He said, they are not here. Why do I want to know? I said, I just want to know because in my own place, the level of police station is different from what I'm seeing. So he now explains some certain things to me that I don't need to mention it here. You see, when you look at CCTV, it's beyond CCTV. We don't even have it. See, CCTV cannot pick anybody in darkness. It can't pick anybody in darkness.
The streets are not lit.
So you don't even need all of those things. See, there are certain things you need to do before CCTV because we lack database that can say God your forces live in number 1, Galaxy TV lane. Do you understand? You can't trace me.
Got it. See,
all right, let's look at our feedback platform
because
our time is fast running. Our viewers are reacting as well. This one says, I feel sorry for uniform men. I'm sure some of them have not been paid before they died. Samson from Benin City says, policemen, please, those who are calling the line, can you please stop calling the line? All right, just send your SMS, please. Samson from Benin City says, policemen on the road concentrate on the money they are collecting from motorists than security on the road. This other one from Abdul Hamid from Kogi State says, Nigerian police depend on what they collect on the road. That is why it's easy for them to be killed by robbers. Good day, presenters. The issue of payment of federal police is still hanging We are now talking about recruiting state police, which on a normal note, state workers' salaries are still not paid regularly. I suggest if the vigilantes could be upgraded to serve better. Thank you. That one came in from Charles. Mikaela S. Loco from Nasarawa State says, if armed robber will kill military, what about we, the civilians? Nigerian government should do something. Mr. Alex, let's have you take the last word on this topic before we move on.
Well, for me, I like I said, the police, as far as I'm concerned, what has happened to them, sad as it is part of the hazard of their profession. It's part of the sacrifices they have to make. It's what they signed on to. But having said that, talking of way forward, definitely CCTV, we cannot rule it out. It's one of the way forward. I mean, we should not, if we are saying that it's technology, it has its own value. Then also, we should be wary of always wanting to do this one size fits all. What happens, what is obtainable in France, in Germany, cannot be obtainable here. I believe that the Nigerian police, their men and officers of the Nigerian police are one of the best trained in the world. Because when they go outside Nigeria on mission, they perform and they come back with awards, with laurels. That shows there is something that is making them not to function well here. And that is what we should be looking to. Not that they are not properly trained, not that they don't, but whereby certain things are not in place for them to function properly. That's where you have all these sort of things. So for me, going forward, I think, like I said, is the capacity to deal with some of these issues when they come up. Because these issues, whether we like it or not, we always come up.
Okay.
We cannot rule it out.
All right. I think I agree to an extent with what you said. Also, I think Mr. Ikem also talked a bit about what you mentioned. Dying on the job or something like that is part of the hazards, you know, like you rightly pointed out, which is why I think government should do good by the police, you know, pay them well.
Absolutely.
Let the welfare package be good. Last week, we brought a video of mobile policemen protesting the non-payment of their allowances in Maiduguri. Since the start of this year, they have not received a kobo in terms of payment, and you want them to safeguard lives and property. How does that work? I think something needs to be done.
It starts with the
urgently.
Start with the Oracle actually denying that there was a protest.
Exactly. You know, something needs to be done urgently, you know, about police in Nigeria, really. But then let's move it along, gentlemen, because of time. Our next topic, finance minister's forgery allegation. Of course, if you live in Nigeria, you know this weekend was quite eventful on social media. A lot of back and forth went on. Anyways, the background story is the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, has been accused of allegedly skipping the mandatory National Youth Service Corps, NYSC. According to Premium Times, who reported this news, they actually broke this news on Saturday. They said Kemi, that's the finance minister, forged an exemption certificate years after graduation. She allegedly obtained the fake exemption certificate in 2009, granting her leave from the mandatory national assignment. Well, a lot of people will be wondering, what's the big deal about this? The big deal is that this is actually a crime if it's true. According to provision of Section 12 of the NYSC Act, employers must demand NYSC certificate from prospective employees, and the law also mandates employees to present only genuine certificates for, you know, the purposes of securing employment and all of that. And in addition to being a requirement for government and private sector jobs in Nigeria, the enabling law prescribes punishment for anyone who absconds from the scheme or forges its certificate. And then if you go on and read that act, you find out the different fines and penalty meted out to all of them. Yes, 2005. I found that laughable though, you know, but
you know,
it is what it is. Anyways, gentlemen, you know, there's still a lot of back and forth on this issue. No comment yet from the finance minister herself, even though some people have stepped up trying to defend her. And
Definitely,
you know. And when this news broke, Mr. Godi.
No, patient. Sorry, I guess let's start with Mr. Alex.
Why Mr. Alex? Why? Is there a reason?
Am I Kemi Adeosun?
What's the reason? I don't know.
Hold on, after the show, Mr. Alex.
Well, I'm not Kemi Adeosun, neither am I her spokesperson. However, well, my reaction to this is very simple. It's still an allegation, you know, and that's what it is. And there is, allegation as we read through the online media, you know, for me, I take with a pinch of salt anything that comes outside the conventional traditional media. I mean, I take it with a pinch of salt. That does not mean, you know, it's not an allegation. But for me, forgery is a serious offense. It's a serious offense, and whereby you establish a case of forgery. I mean, even the minister herself knows what is before her, if it is true. But as we speak today, it's still in the domain of rumor, allegation, and all of that. There is no formal, for instance, there is no formal petition or report before the police whose responsibility it is to investigate such matters. There's no, I mean, that has been established as of today. There is no report by any quarter or from any quarter of this thing we are still seeing as rumor. So for me, I want to leave it at that. However, I am aware that Mr. President, that's the presidency, has called for a full report on this allegation. So we play the waiting game.
Okay, all right. Mr. Godi.
Anyway, like Alex has said, I think forgery is a very serious offense in the Nigerian constitution. Well, I believe, like he said, it's still an allegation. There is so much you can say about it. I mean, if you've seen a lot of forgery allegations in this government, it actually started with Mr. Dino Milaye, the Abu scenario. He moved on to Obla, who is the chairman of the prosecution for this government, and he has not been Obla one was Wayek. Wayek has actually said he has forged it, but the presidency has not called for full report of that one.
Exactly, nothing has come.
Now, Mr. President, the presidency has called for Kemi Adeosun's own. I believe that NYSC is a requirement that every graduate need to have. I don't have it because I graduated after my 30, so I collected my own exemption letter. And I was also working. I wasn't prepared to go and serve and leave my job. So that when I come back, I will not see, I will start hunting again. So I believe that every human being, as long as Nigeria is concerned, every graduate should actually do the right thing. If Kemi, for instance, I'm not saying he has erred, but if this thing is not true, there is need for her to speak up.
That is my
There's need
issue.
for her to speak up.
Why not? If I have the certificate,
now,
I'm accused, I don't have, I present the certificate. I think it's as simple as that.
But at times, it's not everything you react
No, you don't need to ignore something.
If you know it is not true, the onus is not on her to prove that it is true.
Why?
No.
I'm coming.
It's not before the police. It's not before the police. By the time he gets to the police, she will be summoned. She will make statements. That's the point I'm making.
So you think it's actually right for her to probably keep the public
I don't think it is right for her.
in the dark?
All right, let's hear Mr. Godi.
This is not a government. This is not a government issue. It's a personal Kemi Adeosun's issue as a person. That NYSC certificate or exemption letter wasn't supposed to be for the minister. It is supposed to be for Kemi. Kemi's name is being slandered. Now, Kemi knows that there is a channel that slandered her. First and foremost, what you need to do is to clear your name by saying, this is not true, you can see this, and approach the court of law.
I think there are certain things we are glossing over in this whole thing. And you narrowed it down to Kemi. This is not about Kemi, this is about a government, an institution responsible to the people. If Kemi was in her private capacity and this thing is happening, it wouldn't be an issue. Kemi is the Nigerian Minister of Finance, as sensitive as that position is. So, for somebody manning the national purse to be accused of forgery, at that level, it should be taken a lot more seriously, even by the office of the Ministry of the Minister of Finance. Having said that, if you read the Premium Times report, they went to great lengths.
Exactly.
Before they published, they reached out to Kemi. The response was, Mom. They went to NYSC. Officially, they refused to respond, even after they invoked the Freedom of Information Act, a law recently passed by this government that guarantees us access to information that is of public interest. This thing is of public interest. They invoked it. The only response they got was those who craved anonymity. I think whether it is true or not, Premium Times, from what they published, except they lied about the processes, what they went through to obtain the right information, they broke everything to the point where it should make sense to everybody.
They broke it down.
They
broke it down to the point where the date on the exemption certificate, you know, and is it the DG they call, you know, the head of
had already retired.
Had already retired before that date, you know.
There's another trend again that is showing that same story in a different twist. That retired DG was not retired then.
The man is even late as we speak. The man is late already. So,
like I said,
let me just conclude. It is not about Kemi Adeosun. It's about the institution she's serving.
I agree.
If she has respect for that institution and Premium Times was wrong, she owes this government and all of us Nigerians the duty to speak up rather than wait until police doesn't need to invite her, because you are now exerting, she's supposed to be a prudent manager of our resources. Yeah. If you wait for police, then police will now have to start spending money. Wasting national resources to investigate a matter that could have been solved by just a picture taken by a mobile phone where you're holding your NYSC, either discharge certificate or exemption certificate or whatever thing you have. Otherwise, we are going to waste money.
First of all, it cannot be an exemption certificate.
She did not school yet.
Yeah, she did not school in Nigeria. We know she did school here. That is it.
In UK.
She schooled in the UK. And then, you know, even if you school outside the shores of Nigeria and you come to Nigeria to get employment, you still have to go through the NYSC.
I am trying to not take all the things Premium Times have said as truth, ultimate truth. I am trying to leave a few more gaps for the person being accused to fill. If Premium Times was totally wrong, they could possibly have gotten the dates wrong. They could possibly have mixed a few things up because of their reports. We want to give the minister the benefit of the doubt. Come and tell us simply and save the government further embarrassment. Let me tell you, the PR dent on this government over the past 3 months has been very terrible. It has been very bad. And this one has added a lot more to it. She should help the government by coming clean. And if she comes clean, excuse me, Premium Times was wrong, this is just going to be an opportunity to turn this whole thing 180 degrees, and then we see this PR.
All right, let me say something here. Why I said Mrs. Adeosun can come and actually speak up on his own personal capacity is that, see, we have had issues, we have had incidences lined up. You see, first and foremost, don't forget, it was started before 2015 election with the president. Do you know that this president was also accused of forgery?
Exactly.
Okay, his primary school certificate and the rest of it. We had all manner of pictures with his classmate, with everybody. Former Inspector General of Police have to come and speak up and the rest of it. In fact, to a point that we have to have about 30 SAN going to the court to defend Mr. President. Now, Opla, the same thing. None of them, the presidency has not spoken. Now, Opla is the chairman of the head of the prosecution and the chairman of the recovery of the government properties that has been looted. You are in that position. Up till today, the presidency has not said anything. Abla has not said anything. Now, if we know that the presidency is fond of not talking anything, saying anything until they are pushed to the wall, then Kemi, as a person, can come up and speak. Because look, why I don't take all these things with why I'm taking this thing with a pinch of salt is this. Just to distant time, Premium Time had actually apologized for the story that he wrote on a certain Niatiala.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, he come out with another one. Why can Femi not come out and nail Premium Time forever?
With this, I get what you mean. All right, people are still reacting to the first story, which is on the police. We're getting the messages in droves. I'll just read one or two more and we move on. Chief Isiguzo from Bohikon in Benin Republic says, the fact is that Nigeria police is not working. They are failed by not doing their job properly, rather collecting 100 naira on the road from poor taxi drivers. If you ply the Badagry Seme road, you will see how they behave like animals. So they have to change their attitude because people are angry with them. This other one says the minister needs to come out openly and to the Nigerian police to defend herself if truly she merited the certificate she claimed she has acquired. All right, gentlemen, our time is fast moving. We still have one more topic to look at. And of course, we all know that the Supreme Court on Friday set the Senate President Bukola Saraki free of all charges in the case of his asset declaration at the Code of Conduct Tribunal. And of course, to this effect, the Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari, through his senior special assistant on media and publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, has said this shows that the country's judicial system is truly working, no matter the challenges it faces, adding that no one should be allowed to undermine or break it. All right, we're going to show a footage of the whole of Ilorin coming out to jubilate because their son, Bukola Saraki, has been set free. We take that footage. We'll be right back.
The road leading to the palace of the Emir of Ilorin is overtaken by supporters of the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, most of whom are from his senatorial zone. They are happy about the Supreme Court judgment which favors their political leader. The jubilant youths were received by the Emir, Ibrahim Sulugambari. The judgment, according to an aide of the Senate President, is a triumph for the rule of law.
It's the demonstration of, the rule of law. You see, there are a lot of politics and politics, but today, the outcome of this, of this case, it shows that we have more confidence in judiciary. So, and everybody here in Kwara State are celebrating. This morning, as early as 10 o'clock, was, going around the town.
From the Emir's palace, the supporters take their celebration march to the Government House, with more women expanding the group. The crowd began to cheer as the governor joins their jubilation. However, he spoke in a separate interview, describing the judgment as justice for democracy.
Justice is taking its course, because one of the biggest impediments to driving good democracy is accessing justice. And I would hope as a country, if we strengthen the justice system to ensure that people can always get justice, then we'll know that we can do it with impunity. We know we can do it with discipline, and we'll surely have a developing environment.
What we've been saying all along, that all the evidence they brought to the public, it's all false. Basically, that is just what he's telling us. You can see, just behind us, this is the whole of Ilorin. This is the whole of Kwara. We are jubilating. We're saying our leader is innocent. And basically, if he's innocent, it means they can bring whatever they want to bring on board. We will still be innocent, inshallah.
Supporters believe that the Apex Court judgment will not only relieve their leader, but it will also strengthen the All Progressives Congress, especially at the state level.
attack on our police personnel and the killing of 7 police.
Okay, welcome back. We saw people dancing and rejoicing there. You know, the spirit is really high because Saraki has been set free. Mr. Alex, the apex court in Nigeria just dismissed, you know, all of these allegations. What does this say really for our judicial system?
For me, it's a further statement that indeed, and after all, the judiciary is working. Because like you said, that's the apex court, you know, which after the Supreme Court in Nigeria, the only place you can appeal to is God Almighty, and that has to do with faith. You know, so for me, Saraki followed the process through, you know, from CTC to appeal court and now to Supreme Court. And so it's nothing new. You know, it shows the judiciary is working. It's a thumbs up for the judiciary.
But this verdict,
because there is no...
This verdict, was it an expectation for you?
For me, if anything is an allegation, even the Saraki issue is an allegation, and it was tested in the right place, it should be tested, which is the judiciary. And the judiciary, the highest arm of the judiciary has come out to say, look, this man is not guilty as charged. I mean, no other appeal, no further appeal. I only hope, and I'm happy that this has happened, I only hope that they, because the legislators themselves, they expect everybody to, you know, obey this Supreme Court judgment now. Because there have been instances that they themselves refuse to respect judgments of the Supreme Court. Judgment of the Supreme Court. The legislator, they refuse to respect it. And I think that is a shame on them. As Saraki now will expect Nigerians, authorities to respect the Supreme Court judgment. Yet, I have just one simple example here to show that they themselves as legislators. And what's that example? In the issue of this maritime university, Nigerian Maritime University, there is a Supreme Court judgment, and Malami, the Attorney General of the Federation, through an official correspondence, told the Senate that, look, this is the position, attached all necessary documents, and sent to Senate President that, look, the right name of this place is Okerekoko via a Supreme Court judgment. I mean, it's Okereigo via a Supreme Court judgment and not Okerekoko. But the Senate and the House of Rep went ahead, disregarded the advice of Malami, disregarded a Supreme Court judgment, and went ahead to name it Okerekoko.
And here we are rejoicing.
And here we are rejoicing. So they can see.
Yeah.
They can see.
I want to ask a question now. Mr. Alex has just raised an issue. I think, is it the Senate or the House of
both.
Assembly that
National
have the right
Assembly
to name a university or the presidency?
That's why
I'm coming, sir. I'm coming. Because
it's a question.
That question is rhetoric.
Okay,
we don't have time
okay.
anymore to actually.
Please, we are jubilating for Saraki.
Yes, that's
Who
what
is
I'm
jubilating? His family and followers. His family. Okay,
the people like Alex
new
had actually
PDP.
expected the Saraki to be jailed.
No, I didn't. She asked the
I didn't expect
question.
him to walk free of all. I think he had like 18
Wait,
charges.
wait,
I didn't expect him to walk
that is
out
my-
of
that is-
all.
that is my-
Yeah.
Ibori once had about 100 and something charges. He was freed of all in this country.
Mr. Alex,
He was freed of all now.
is that our agency, government agency, are not doing thorough jobs. And you can see the fund, the hired SAN, the movement of everything, the stabilization of the system, the institutions for 3 years, all in vain. Now, was the job done in a hurry to nail it? Because I can't see how an agency like EFCC, DSS could come up with 18 counters and someone will just walk free of all of them.
And that 18 was after
And by
it
a
was
Supreme Court that has
streamlined,
5 judges at the time, that just not just one person. Don't also forget, Saraki was absolved from the High Court. It was the presidency that take the case to the Supreme Court. All right. Now, is it right? That's what am I saying. I'm not saying about Saraki. It could be any other person. It could be even the president. It could be another person tomorrow. Let our agency do a thorough job. If you want to nail somebody,
No, absolutely.
please do so.
I agree with that.
I think his last words were just the angle I've been looking at it.
Okay.
We have seen many cases of very poor prosecution on the part of government. That you are free of the law
Doesn't mean that you didn't.
doesn't mean that you didn't do whatever.
Absolutely.
After all, we're still hearing cases from one island country down South Africa where they're still talking about issues of siphoning of money laundering and trying to shroud some assets, linking the wife and a few other people. So, but diligent prosecution is an issue we should deal with, especially if a government is serious about anti-corruption. You don't try somebody, find the person guilty in the media, and where the real thing counts, you put incompetent people, fail on grounds of technicalities. Because there are some technical issues that make governments lose a lot of these critical cases.
True.
Okay.
True.
Okay. All right. I wish we have more time to dwell on this issue, but it is what it is. The Supreme Court has spoken to, as it is, he is free.
Federal government
Absolutely.
should take their case to court.
Yes.
Believe in God.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
All right, it's been a fantastic show with you, gentlemen. Thank you, Saz, for coming and for making it a success. Thank you, Mr. Ike Mokuhu. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Godio Fose. And Mr. Alex. Thank you indeed. Thank you, Alero. Thank you for the show today. And thank you, viewers. Tomorrow at noon, we'll be here again, God willing. We see you then. Have yourself a good day.